The story begins with a middle-aged single mother named Kim-in, who, just like every other day, had gone to her office. Suddenly, she gets a call from her apartment building saying that her daughter had thrown their dog off the building. Yes, you read that right. We're talking about a child who treats pets like they're trash bags on garbage day. Kim-in rushes home, only to find her daughter sitting next to the dog. The scene is horrifying, but what's even worse is that her daughter's eyes show no fear or guilt whatsoever. Kim-in assumes her daughter must have accidentally dropped the dog from the balcony, so she buries the dog along with her daughter. A few days later, Kim-in gets a call from school saying that Kim-soo had brutally bullied a classmate. CCTV footage clearly shows her placing another girl under a swing and slamming it down on her face. With no other option, the school expels Kim-soo. Kim-in is deeply worried because "my child's a psycho" is not something they prepare you for in parenting books. One night, while Kim-in is asleep, she wakes up to find Kim-soo standing beside her, pressed against the wall, and giving her the creepiest stare imaginable. Then Kim-soo cuts her mother's leg deeply and asks, "Mom, does it hurt?" At this point, Kim-in starts fearing her own daughter. She realizes Kim-soo is not a normal child. Out of fear, she begins locking her bedroom door at night and tells her own mother everything. A few days later, Kim-in's mum comes over to help because Kim-in is under extreme stress. Kim-in applies for a job as a swimming teacher at her daughter's new school, not because she's chasing a career dream, but because she wants to keep an eye on Kim-soo. She gets selected since she used to swim in the past. While coaching all the kids, she notices something. Whenever she talks to other children, Kim-soo gets jealous. One girl in particular, Jia, becomes a target. Kim-soo bullies her and even attacks her. Kim-in doesn't know what to do anymore. Her mum takes Kim-soo to church and then to a doctor. But the doctor has no cure. Just one piece of advice. Stay alert. Translation: your kid is basically a horror movie, good luck. On the way home, Kim-soo asks, "Mum, why did you take me to a clinic?" "I'm perfectly fine." Kim-in asks, "Why don't you stop doing all this?" Kim-soo responds, "What have I done wrong? I'm grown up, so why can't I do what I want?" Then she starts screaming inside the car. Kim-in takes her to the countryside, to a farm where animals are slaughtered, and leaves her there for a while so she can release her anger on animals instead of people. Kim-soo kills several animals there, and Kim-in hopes she'll now behave like a normal kid. She brings her home, bathes her, and the next day meets Jia. Seeing Kim-in, Jia gets scared. Kim-in takes her to her office and asks what happened. Jia says Kim-soo never stopped taking revenge on her whenever she saw her. She bullied and harassed her. To protect herself and her daughter, Kim-in threatens Jia. "You didn't tell anyone about this, right? If you do, I'll kill you." Jia is terrified. Then Kim-soo arrives, sees her mum siding with Jia and gets angry. She runs off and locks Jia in the supply room, planning to take her home later. But Jia screams so loudly that another teacher comes and opens the door. Kim-soo walks out, showing zero fear, and runs straight to the swimming area where she pushes Jia into the pool to drown her. Jia's life is saved just in time, but her mother lashes out at Kim-in. Kim-in can only apologize. Later, in anger, she asks Kim-soo, "Why do you keep doing this?" Kim-soo replies, "You're my mum. Your job is to protect me." And there it is, the world's most twisted definition of mother's love. Kim-in had already realized that her daughter was definitely not human, at least not in the normal functioning member of society sense. Kim-soo suddenly took off, running toward home all by herself. Kim-in let her go. A little later, when she got home and started looking for her, she saw that her mother's hand was badly injured. Someone had slashed it with a knife. Enraged, Kim-in began pounding on Kim-soo's door. When she didn't open it, Kim-in broke the lock and stormed inside. What she saw was pure chaos. Kim-soo had slashed every single thing in the room with a knife and was shouting, "What kind of mum are you? You left your kid alone. You don't even follow me. Do you want to abandon me?" She was making these dramatic speeches way beyond her age. Seriously, someone get this kid an audition for a soap opera. Kim-in calmly tried to talk her down and take the knife away, but Kim-soo attacked her and injured her too, At this point, Kim-in finally understood there was no cure for her daughter. That night, Kim-in took Kim-soo to the swimming pool. She mixed water into it and left her there, wanting Kim-soo to feel fear, to understand what drowning feels like. Kim-soo quickly realized why her mum had brought her there. But then, Kim-in made a mistake. She loosened the bandage on her hand and began to push her daughter underwater. Due to heavy bleeding, she sank further and further, and then, shockingly, Kim-in drowned her own mother there and ran away. The story jumps 20 years into the future. We now meet a young woman named Liang, who has no family and works for a cleaning company, making just enough to survive. To earn extra cash, she steals wallets and expensive items from the rich homes she cleans. Basically, she's running her own little maid by day, thief by also day side hustle. One day, while stealing, she notices a girl named Hyeon watching her. Liang panics, thinking she's been caught. But no, Hyeon is also new here and just joined as staff. This is where we meet their team leader, who, while eating, asks Hyeon to introduce herself. Hyeon explains that when she was little, her house caught fire. Her whole family died in the blaze. But she survived and grew up in an orphanage. The others remark, "Oh, Liang's life was the same. She also grew up in an orphanage." Liang comes across as mysterious. She doesn't talk much, doesn't laugh, doesn't mingle, just minds her own business. One night, when she comes home, she finds Hyeon sitting in her room. The team leader had told them to live together until the company found Hyeon a new place. Liang didn't mind Hyeon staying until she saw her habits. She left hair all over the bathroom, dumped her undergarments there, and basically turned the place into a health hazard. But the most annoying thing, Hyeon wore Liang's clothes without asking. In roommate law, that's a capital offense. Still, Liang said nothing. They worked together for a few days until one day, in casual conversation, Liang laughed and said, "Weren't you looking for your own place? What happened? Couldn't find one?" She'd said it hoping Hyeon would feel a bit embarrassed and start house hunting. But instead, Hyeon ran to the team leader, played the victim card and said, "I'm poor, I'm an orphan, and Liang is kicking me out." The team leader told Hyeon, "There's a reason Liang is like this, don't take it personally." She then revealed Liang's past. When she was a child, her mentally ill mother had tried to kill her. She barely survived later. When she grew up, she had a boyfriend who abused her constantly. When she got pregnant, he tried to force her to have an abortion, but Liang refused, saying, "The baby has the right to live." The boyfriend continued to harass and beat her whenever he could. Hearing this, Hyeon felt bad for her. The team leader added, "Just speak to her with kindness and don't take her words to heart." A few days later, it was Liang's birthday. Hyeon, along with the team leader, baked her a cake. Liang appreciated it. Everyone drank together, and in her drunken state, Hyeon laughed and told the team leader, "You remind me of my mum. I see my mother in you." Clearly, alcohol unlocks her sentimental Hallmark movie mode. Liang knew exactly why Hyeon was doing all this just so she could stay here for free, and to make that happen, winning over the team leader's heart was absolutely crucial. One day, Hyeon straight up told Liang, "You steal, don't you? I can tell the police." Wow, blackmail and free rent, truly the roommate from hell. Liang was terrified. The next day, the team leader told Liang, "Last night, Hyeon came to me crying. She wanted to tell me something." Liang was now even more scared. Hyeon's drama was getting worse day by day. So, being the senior, she went to scold Hyeon. But of course, Hyeon wasn't the type to back down, senior, junior. She didn't care. She fired back and insulted her right to her face. Later, as Liang was heading home, she ran into her boyfriend, who once again told her to get an abortion. Liang said, "I'll be a single mother." But he started beating her. The situation turned serious. Hyeon showed up and started attacking the boyfriend, but he grabbed her and beat her too. Luckily, the patrolling police arrived just in time, and the guy had to run away. After this incident, the two girls began developing a slight friendship. The tension between them eased, and Liang even let go of the hatred she'd been holding for Hyeon. A few days later, while cleaning the house, Liang found a hidden bag in Hyeon's room. Curious, She opened it and found a notebook with sketches of girls' faces, along with a phone. Inside the phone's cover, something was hidden. As she was checking it, Hyan suddenly came in. Liang ran out with the paper she'd taken and checked it later. It was a photograph of 3 girls sitting outside an orphanage, with the orphanage's name clearly visible in the background. Liang realized Hyan was hiding something and decided to investigate on her own. Then came news that her boyfriend was in the ICU. Someone had made a life-threatening attack on him. When Liang rushed to the hospital, she learned that he had died. His mother was there, screaming at Liang, accusing her of killing her son since she was the last one to see him. Completely confused, Liang returned home and told Hyan. Hyan started laughing a lot and said, "Good, he used to bother you so much. This is the exact laugh you hear right before someone burns down your house in a Lifetime movie." Liang could tell from that laugh Hyan was the one who killed him. The next day, Liang called Hyan's orphanage, only to learn that a girl named Hyan had lived there but had died 10 years ago in a fire. To dig deeper, Liang went to the orphanage's record room. There she discovered the truth. Hyan had indeed died 10 years ago, and the girl in the photograph was her along with 2 other girls, both of whom were also dead. Only one girl in the photo had survived. Liang ran off with the photo, now knowing that someone else had stolen the real Hyan's identity and was living among them. She went to search Hyan's room for clues. Hyan caught her, but Liang didn't back down. She asked directly, "Who are you? Tell me, you killed my boyfriend, didn't you?" Hyan realized her secret was out. She admitted, "Yes. The day the team leader told me your boyfriend was abusing you, I decided I would kill him. Because I like you." Then she tried to get closer to Liang. But Liang wanted no part of that kind of relationship and tried to push her away. Hyan then tied a cloth over her mouth, making her unconscious. The next morning, when Liang woke up, she stepped outside. Everything seemed normal, but Hyan was holding a knife to the team leader, signaling that if Liang told anyone what had happened, she would kill her. The very next day, Hyan went to the supervisor and reported that Liang was stealing wallets from rich people's homes. Liang was scolded badly. In anger, Liang told the team leader everything about Hyan, but of course the team leader didn't believe her. And Hyan? She was watching the entire thing unfold from above, probably grinning like the villain in the last 5 minutes of a crime thriller. Liang storms into the house, furious, ready to grab Hyan and force the truth out of her, but the whole place is filled with smoke courtesy of Hyan, and out of nowhere, she kicks Liang so hard that she falls right onto the team leader. The team leader knows someone kicked from inside, but can't tell who did it. She ends up with a head injury, admitted to the hospital, while Hyan shows up pretending to care for her. Yeah, concerned friend mode, coming from the same person who basically turned the living room into a WWE ring. Meanwhile, Liang visits an old woman from the orphanage who knows Hyan's truth. Here everything comes to light. Hyan was actually the little girl, Kim Soo, from the beginning. The same child who drowned her own mother in a swimming pool. After killing her mother, she didn't go home because her grandmother lived there, so she ran away and stayed at the orphanage. Even in the orphanage, she bullied the girls relentlessly, though she made 2 best friends. Over time, her grandmother never stopped searching for her, thinking she was living a poor, pitiful life. Yeah, pitiful if you count psychologically terrorizing everyone around you as pitiful. Her grandmother thought she was just an innocent little girl and wanted to take her in. But when Kim Soo found out her grandmother was searching for her and had reached the orphanage, she hid and told her friends to lie that she wasn't there. One friend betrayed her by revealing her hiding spot. Kim Soo was furious. Betrayal was something she couldn't tolerate. She ran away from the orphanage but returned days later and set the entire place on fire, killing everyone inside. She then stole her dead friend Hyan's identity and began living under that name. Her grandmother eventually stopped searching, thinking she had died in the fire. Even the supervisor now discovers Hyan's resume is fake, and that she injured the team leader. The kick inside the smoke-filled house had been caught on a street CCTV camera. They come to discuss it, but Hyan, who's basically been a feral animal since childhood, isn't here to talk things out. She kills the supervisor in under a minute. She then goes to the hospital, picks up the team leader, and takes her home. Liang, still at the hospital, notices the team leader is missing and rushes home. When she sees blood on Haiyan's face, she knows something terrible happened. Haiyan is about to set the house on fire, pouring gasoline, and tells Liang, "I never received love as a child. That's why I'm like this." Liang then spots the team leader's dead body and breaks down completely. Haiyan begins spraying more gas. Liang attacks her, and the two women fight for a long time. Haiyan is about to kill Liang when, surprised, the team leader, barely alive, musters her last bit of strength and attacks Haiyan. But Haiyan overpowers her and brutally finishes her off, then turns to attack Liang again. Despite being pregnant, Liang fights back. During the struggle, Haiyan's hand gets caught in the gas flames. Liang seizes the moment, turns on the gas, and Haiyan's entire body bursts into flames. The viewers think this is finally the end. But no. She escapes, runs to a riverside, and washes herself off. There, she sees her mother's soul, who tells her to let everything go and come with her, basically inviting her to die. The spirit grabs her, but this girl is so far gone she makes Satan look like a puppy. She picks up a rock and smashes her own mother's head, killing her, and says, "I'll live like this, but I won't die." And that's where the movie ends.